As a Palestinian Christian living in America, I don't hate Jews or Muslims, but I have felt a lot of hate directed towards me due to Middle Eastern affairs. I hate that I was born hated. For context, my family is Orthodox Christian. I am personally agnostic. While I am pro-Palestine, I don't actually want to argue with or fight my Jewish friends. My whole life I've walked around trying to project an aura of I come in peace. I am extremely conflict avoidant, and although I am open to civil political discourse, that just doesn't happen when it comes to Middle Eastern affairs. It always becomes personal and fact avoidant. The recent conflict in Palestine has resulted in death threats to me for posting some of my views on Instagram, and I just hate it so much. I don't hate anyone in particular, even those threatening my life. I just think they're misguided and confused. I wish people realized life wasn't so black and white as to say Arab bad, Israeli good and vice versa. People in Israel don't overwhelmingly support the militants' actions taken by their government, and Palestinians overwhelmingly don't want this fight to go on. I won't go into my views on labeling enemies terrorists because, and this is the point of the post, I just want to go to work, love my family and friends, and build a life free from the hatred. I'm lucky to have lived in a more liberal part of the Midwest, so I can easily just avoid people, but I don't want to avoid people anymore. I love people, I want to laugh with people, I want to host people at my new home I bought with a backyard oasis I built with my bare hands, featuring a hot tub, fire pit and dining areas where I will serve my smoked pulled pork that I gladly slaved over because I truly love being a part of a community and love having people of all creeds and political stances over. I hate that I was born hated. My wife hit my stepson and I'm devastated. I'm 42, my wife is 40. We got married about 13 years ago when my stepson Samuel was around 4. I adopted him when he turned 5 years old. A little while ago, my son came out to both me and his mother as gay. It surprised me as I had always seen him as a straight boy growing up, but it also wasn't my business as to who he is attracted to. I welcomed him with as open arms as I could provide, as I just want him to be happy. He is my son and I love him no matter what. My wife was the same way at the time, as she said she would always be here for him, but today I walked into my house to hear my wife raising her voice at Samuel for being gay, and when I turned the corner to see what was going on, she punched him in the nose and called him a slur. I ran in and grabbed Samuel, and took him to my parents' house where we are currently staying. I haven't talked to my wife, but my parents know what's going on and I am going to report her to the police as well as filing for divorce. I've never been this hurt or angry. I just talked to my son and he said that this has been going on ever since he came out, but he was too scared to tell me. I am so livid and heartbroken. I've been crying for the first time in years. I hate my wife. Well, she's now an ex-wife. When we were married, she got so mean. I'd do nice things for her or try to help out with my son, and that would just make her angrier. If I went to work, she'd get mad at me for going to work and be jealous that she had to stay home with the baby. Her mom was always coming over and chewing me out for how bad of a husband and father I was. I'm sure they had valid complaints and I could have done better. But it felt like hell, where nothing I did was ever good enough. Not to mention my ex-mother-in-law bad-mouthed me to all her friends. But I remember when I bought a pink high chair for our son. She was so mad that it was pink and chewed me out. But a year later, after our divorce, he still eats every day in that pink high chair. She's still rude every time I interact with her. It's exhausting. This woman took 10 years off my soul. Fiancé refuses to sign birth certificate. My fiancé and I have been together for a year and a half. He had a vasectomy years ago. He has 2 kids and I have 3. His kids live with their mom full-time, my kids live with me full-time. I am also 8 months pregnant. It is indeed his kid. Fake account for privacy reasons. Recently I found some really hurtful things on fiancé's phone. He wasn't physically cheating, but he had been talking to local escorts and strippers. I have no issues with girls who do that, but I don't want my fiancé to be seeking them out. In my brain that is something for single guys and girls. I enjoy going to a strip club myself, and people who are unhappy in a relationship. That was a hard boundary I set when we got together. Porn is okay, it's some random free videos on the internet. You're not reaching out to these people on a personal level. He told me he planted pics on his phone for me to find and that he isn't sorry because he didn't cheat. That he is tired of the middle school drama. So I told him okay, I was done. I need respect, and if he isn't going to respect me, then there was no point in staying in the relationship. After a few days of talking, we are working on things and going to therapy. I'm deeply hurt still, but trying to move past it. It was wrong of me to go through his phone, and I admit that. He told me he wasn't going to sign the birth certificate when baby is born in December, but still wants to be his dad. He spent the night at his parents' house and told me he had a talk with his dad and his dad made sense to him. He also said he has no intention of marriage anytime soon. That's okay with me. I personally think it would be smart to hold off on a wedding for now. He then signed his rights over to his own 2 kids because he has no fight left. I just feel completely different about him now. My kids are my world. They come before anything, and I'll fight to be the best mom I can be no matter what, and I've proved to be a damn good mom so far. My kids have everything they could ever want and need. Their dad and I co-parent pretty well, and are always positive about the other person in front of the kids. Their happiness is number one in my book, everything else comes second. How can you just sign your rights away and not claim what's yours? I own my home and my car, he owns a motorcycle, and we have a good life, except this recent stuff. If things don't work out between him and me and the kids will be fine, it all just sucks, especially with the hormones. Just found out that my husband had sex with a 16-year-old foreign exchange student when he was living with a home family at 25. My husband and I are around our 40s now and recently went to a family reunion on his side of the family. It was at his aunt and uncle's house, who he lived with to finish his last semester of college when he was 25. He was giving me a tour of the house, and we got to a particular bedroom. He mentioned that his aunt and uncle also had a 16-year-old foreign exchange student living with them, and his aunt caught them having sex and was furious with him. Telling me the story, it was like seeing the room sparked a memory and told it like it was a quick, funny, almost throwaway story, if that makes sense. Like a funny memory from younger times. The story nagged in my head for a few days. We're home now, and last night I did confirm he was 25 when he was living with aunt and uncle for this last semester of college. All this tracks with his educational history, just clarifying for you all, he was not a traditional senior in college around 21. I would really like help sorting my feelings. In the state they were in, 16 was the age of consent, so it was not legally statutory rape. However, I'm really bothered that when my husband was in his mid-20s, he wanted to have sex with a 16-year-old. More importantly, he was supposed to be part of her host family and safe space in this country. What do you all think?